Hello everybody, my name's Spicy and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be running you guys through how I beat the hardest content in all of Raid Shadow Legends. Now this is without an account of a Kraken really. I mean, yes I have good champions, yes I have legendaries, I have a few mythics, but I wouldn't say this is Kraken worthy, and maybe a small whale at the most, but I haven't really spent that much. Have gotten a little lucky, but regardless, you guys get the idea. Now, don't pay attention too much to the builds right now because we've had to screw over a lot of builds to make this happen. It was a grind. I thought I couldn't do it because I tried a few days ago and didn't put the right builds on my champions. But the hardest content in all of Raid Shadow Legends is complete. Now, yes, I have a few stages that'll be done later today, but I wanted to get the video recorded now, just so I could go through it a bit more, and I had the time and didn't have to worry about anything. So as you can see, I'm only 7 stages away, which means that later today it'll be done. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, only those. But what was the hardest stages? What did I struggle with? How did I go through and beat them? So let's start with some of the earlier on ones that are usually pretty rough for people. Now, I don't tend to struggle much at all until we get to... I feel like Iron Twins is pretty easy. You just throw in somebody like Tomb Lord or any Poisoner or anything like that and throw them in regen, maybe some resistance or something. It's pretty easy. Now, the awakened stages can be pretty hard for some people, and that's often a roadblock, but for me, this rotation, definitely doable with my champions. Didn't have to try too hard. If I have an Armand, if I have a Fabian, if I have Ashnar, any of those champions and a stage, it's easy. I don't have to think about it. Onryo, it's easy. Don't have to think about it. Did it 19 turns there. None of the bosses here are that hard. I guess this was pretty rough. I put my Nell into some damage gear. It took me 118 turns because I didn't have my Nell door built or anything. Don't know why exactly. Guess I just wasn't thinking that much about it. Probably would have been better to go in cardio lead and then throw in Neldor, or maybe yeah, probably just Neldor in there. Have him do some extra stuff and it would have been better. This was pretty easy. So I used Ramontu to block the passives. Now, none of these champions are really built right now, so I'll just kind of give you an idea of what I did. So what I did here is I went ahead A3'd one of these guys, and I retried until I got the block passives on both of them. I then A3'd so that the decreased defense and weaken went here, and then from there it's pretty easy, and you can just kind of kill the boss and not have to worry about it. Unryo basically one-shots it when he actually has gear on. From there, it's a little bit of RNG and actually trying to get the boss killed, well, the Fire Knight killed on the left side, but it's not that bad. Probably only took 10 to 15 minutes to actually beat. Some RNG, but nothing crazy. But now let's talk about the actually hard stages, the ones that had me thinking I couldn't beat this, and honestly, I wasn't sure I was going to. But stage S20, S19, and S18. The most difficult things I think I've ever done in video games ever. This is coming from a guy who loves Souls games and things like that. This was just rough. This is the team I used to beat this stage. Now, it wouldn't be that bad unless there's a Taras Marichka, double Taras Marichka. How did I do this? We ally attack into Marichka. She needs to be the lowest HP. But in this, we also have to land 2 stuns on the Tarases. From there, we also have to stun Marichka and everybody else, so it's not a problem. Now, second wave, I kind of forget what it was, and then the last wave is pretty easy. You just kind of control, and it's not that big of a deal. Jing 1 is kind of annoying, but it's not that bad. Yeah, I mean, I think this was the easiest out of all of them. out of all the stages. And I would say probably the easiest out of all of the stages I struggled with. Now, what builds did I use? I used two stun set Necmos, a Priest Ornn inside of bolster gear, a Loriaka in my highest possible damage gear, and then my Padraig and my fastest, well, some of my fastest tankier gear. The reason Loriaka is in some of my highest damage gear is she has the highest multipliers of these guys. She had the best chance at doing the most damage with things like this A2 and this A1 compared to everybody else. Um, yeah, and I this was also really nice later on when we needed that block debuffs, but she came in clutch doing the most damage, right alongside the Priest Ornn with his poisons. Um, yeah, and those poisons can be kind of rough to deal with when you're dealing with Marichka and she's just going to put up block damage, but Loriaka with her A1 can go ahead and steal that, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. Now, the next stage, I would say the hardest stage of them all is S20. Now, the reason I say it's the hardest is I struggled with it the most. I didn't have him maxed. I had two allure. This was the team I was running. Two allures, Archmage, Tagore, and Duck. We had a stun set allure with high accuracy, a nuke allure with no accuracy, a nuke Duke with some accuracy, an Archmage build. I believe his gear's still on him. Yeah, so almost I think we're just barely under the crit rate. Good speed and everything, good accuracy. Then Tagore, he was in bolster, and yeah, so this couldn't do it. It just wouldn't happen. Not having accuracy on both the lures made it pretty impossible. I probably spent 3 hours on it. Couldn't even get to round 3. So as soon as that free gear removal came on today, I went in, I 6-starred my Akoth, put him into a stun set. Didn't even get him booked yet. This A3, well, this A2 and this A3 combined are pretty amazing. This allows him to lock champions out. Him in a stun set with a lockout and two AoEs is absolutely amazing. He completely carried. Him, Archmage, and then the nuking allure with this A3 does a lot. It really, really makes it doable when it probably wouldn't be otherwise. It allowed me to one-shot UDK, to one-shot whatever champion that I knew would be the most issue coming into whatever wave. Using Allure's A3 with my best nuking gear on my entire account made it possible. Now for the last stage that I completed, it was this one. Um, it honestly wasn't that hard. It definitely took quite a few tries, but it was definitely just about, do I land the stuns? It wasn't a question of, oh, is this champion going to get to use this ability or something. Two stun set Elhanes, one being 5-star, a bolster. Well, okay, so let me run through the builds a bit better. We had both Elhanes in stun set. Both of them were in stun set and 4-piece stone skin. Miscreated Monster, my best HP nuking gear, and stone skin. Bolster on the Tayro, of course, with some accuracy. He also Miscreated also had accuracy, and then a 4-piece stone skin stun set row guard with accuracy. Now, why do I have stun set and the stone skin on these champions? One, the stun set, double AoEs here, an AoE here with some control as well. And then we also have some control within Tayro. And then Miscreated's A2 has a 50% chance to stun. So bringing in the stun sets, of course, we just completely control the waves. It isn't hard. We had Miscreated absolutely nuking with that 6-star soul, and then with the really good gear we put on massive shields and everything, so survivability wasn't the issue until the second wave. And what I had done initially is putting Tayro into bolster made me think, okay, that'll help me outlive the hegemons. But what you do, this is a very big tip for you guys. If you put any of your champions into stone skin, the hegemons will use their A1. when the Hegemons use their A1, they can't lock you out, they can't do anything. And if you have multiple champions in Stone Skin, of course, they couldn't do anything anyways. But even putting one singular champion into Stone Skin, a 5-star Elhain, for example, makes it where the Hegemons don't use their A3 or their A2s, and you actually get to do whatever you want. And then everything becomes really, really easy. It's pretty crazy how much I've learned from this experience, and really how RNG heavy all of this is. Stun sets are only like an 18% chance. Putting that on like 3-4 champions definitely helps, but when you're stuck using a 5-star Elhain with 220 speed, no crit stats, and just hoping, also not booked, so no cooldown here, it's pretty rough, guys. But we made it happen. We did it, and I'm very, very happy. I'm very proud that I was able to do it, because you really only ever hear of the top tier Krakens making it happen. Now, I have the gear, I have some of the champions, but I'm just not on the same level that they are, and that's largely due to the fact that I can't spend. But regardless of all that fun stuff, we made it happen, and now with this free gear removal for 2 weeks, I get to re-gear all my champions and make some fun stuff happen on my account. Now, if you guys have learned anything from this video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you guys have any more questions on stages that you need help with, or how do you beat this stage or whatever, Amius is one that a lot of people struggle with, and I'm just going to put it out there right now. The easiest way to beat Amius is to use Rathalos and HP Burn. You'll see in most accounts, even on my second account, I was able to just use Revivers, HP Burn, and Rathalos to beat it. My second account is like level 93, has some really good champions with some good rolls and a gear, but it's not quite endgame. But yeah, this account right here was able to do Amius. That's a big accomplishment for me on that account, but it's really not that hard in my opinion. You just have to understand the mechanics of the boss, understand when you have to use when you use your healing abilities, when you use your buffs, when you don't debuff the boss. If you guys would like a much more in-depth video on Amius, please do let me know, because at this point in time I feel very confident in my abilities to just beat Amius on any rotation really, whenever. I've been beating him since the first rotation, and it's only gotten easier for me. But if you guys want a full-on walkthrough, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to put that video out there for you guys. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is if you guys would like to see a bit of a series on taking my old account from mid-game to end-game, I'd be more than happy to put that video out there, walk through how I'm progressing the game, how I plan on making it to Ultra Nightmare Chimera, doing more damage in Hydra and stuff, and just pushing the account to its limits. Do let me know, because that is something I'm thinking about, but I'm not too sure when I'll be able to get that out there. One final thing, I have been kind of promoting my clan for a while now, but sadly CA is going to be gone soon, due to some issues within the cluster and everybody just wanting to make the cluster better. And if that means I have to give up my clan to help the rest of the cluster, I'm willing to do that, and I'm not going to be prideful in the situation and saying, oh, it's my clan, I'll do whatever to make it happen. I think it's best that if I can help everybody, if I can help 200 and something people, I'll do it. But yeah, guys, if you did enjoy this video, if you did learn anything, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're not already in my Discord, you can join through the link in the description. Outside of that, appreciate you all for watching. See you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.